What's going on, everybody? Welcome into Red, White, and Bills. We're going to do the second installment of our own offensive line, all 22. And just going to get on so I can see any comments that roll in. And then we'll get started. I also added another element into the grading. Overall PFF score. If it's below an 80, you lose 2 points. So then it's PFF score below 80 -2, a hit, pressure, or hurry -1, a sack is -5, and a run block win and a pass block, a run block loss and a pass block loss is -1. So now we're going to get started. I got to share my screen really quick. All right. Let me know if you can see it, or I'll watch here to see if it shows. All right. Remember, we're just doing offense, and the first play is going to be pretty easy because we know what happens. Unbelievable. So nobody loses a point there. And just bear with me because I got to skip through all the defense. All right, let's try this again. First play was almost a pick, too. Oh, my God. He's been so bad with his reads. And before we continue, I will say I watched Kurt Warner's Dorsey defense video just from the Broncos game. I really encourage you to watch that. I know a lot of people like Dan Orlovsky, and they like to take cover ones Ken Dorsey takes, but Hall of Famer Kurt Warner really puts it in a perspective of how people are really misguided when it comes to our offense. Cook ran right into his old lineman. Yeah, not much room there to work with, but he could have ran out of bounds and tried to come back. Yeah, man, absolutely. And thanks, Tommy. I'll be with Mafia Sports Report filling in today on one of their great shows. So you definitely want to come and support that, support their channel, subscribe to them. They're looking to get to 6K, which they should easily hit soon. By the way, we are a terrible screen passes at the running back. McDermott has taken over as head coach. You are not wrong at all in any shape or form, man. We just cannot do it no matter who's the OC. Torrance got away with a hold there. Let's see. Anyone else? Yeah. Torrance lost that one. But you can't win them all. I thought that was a pick. I was going to say, really? 2 plays, 2 picks? Well, we got lucky there. All right, everybody holds up good. Davis and Allen just are not on the same page in anything. And I really hate that. Is your number 2 receiver, you think that he'd be, on par with your quarterback, but as we've seen, unfortunately, he just hasn't shown out to be a number 2 option, a great number 2 option. Little RPO. Oh, I appreciate you hitting that like button, man. I always love you supporting the channel. A little quick play out there. Hard to lose that one if you're an O-lineman. All right, now we got empty backfield. So obviously it's a pass. Great protection. Great decision. And Gabe Davis, great catch. It's hard to say that sometimes. Where's the slant passes? Yeah, I think there was a couple, but definitely need more of those. Absolutely right. O-line did a great job here. An obvious passing down, giving Josh a great pocket. Love it. And we were driving down the field this drive, and it just has to end in a turnover, man. Just can't stop shooting ourselves in the foot. Nice run with Murray. Great block by Dawkins there. He's been a pulling machine on some of these runs. He's our most athletic, even though he's the biggest. His feet it's like he does ballet in his free time. His great feet. And that was always, it may sound silly, but a lot of coaches always say you got to do dance or ballet or something for O linemen. Get those feet right. Everybody did a fantastic job there. We did a great job running the ball. The offense was a backyard type of offense that was out of sorts. Yeah, they always seemed like they were all confused, which is weird because you think that they could do the simple things right, but they just didn't seem like they were ready to play, and so I understand the move. This was great play design. Oh, I went back too far. Sorry. This is that misdirection that we didn't see a lot of, but it works here. Got everybody going to the right. Everybody's coming down. And then Murray, with his great veteran presence, cuts back, gets a big gain. I don't know why Josh was running all the way down there, but he never utilized the weapons he had the right way. Let me just go back because I got a comment. Suicide Hotline. What's up, buddy? How you been? When will people start holding Allen accountable instead of putting the blame on everything but hard for Davis to get a rhythm when he's getting 3 to 4 targets a game? Yeah, well, the quarterback doesn't usually take the brunt when it comes down to it. It's most of the time just to play. But we'll see that now. Dorsey's gone, so a little crack toss. Diggs in motion. I like Dawkins and Morris lead blocking. I think Morris should get. He's a fantastic run blocker, so I always like to see him in there. Haven't seen Edwards in for a while. This is tough. Let's see. Dawkins kind of whiffed, so you could take off a point for that. All right, now we're driving. I think this is a pick. Diggs in motion. Fakes. Was that a false start? All right, you're going to show that. Okay, here we go. Diggs in motion again. Josh back to pass. Quick pass to Dalton. Nice little fight for a couple yards. Cook's best game is when Murray got in the game early and ran the ball. Yeah, you've been hitting that every week, and it always works. Cook runs better through the tackles once the D-line is softened up by Murray. 100%. Whenever that happens, it works good. And, like you said, sometimes they give Cook the nod first for some reason. And Sean, if you think anything will change, I feel sorry for you. The issue is Allen not being allowed to run. Pay him $258 million, take his biggest threat away. No, I don't think anything will change because McDermott's the head coach. I'll be talking about it more tonight on Mafia Sports Report. But the thing that we'll never know and that people can always speculate talking is here's the pick. Horrible. Is that Ken Dorsey was telling Josh when the play breaks down, don't run. Josh, on his own accord, Josh has every right to do what he wants. They're not going to call design runs for him, but I highly doubt that Ken Dorsey's like, hey, Josh, when the play breaks down and there's nobody open, either take a sack or throw an interception or throw the ball away. I highly doubt that that's what's going on. So I'm not going to sit here and kill Ken Dorsey for Josh not running. I know he's down 40 touches than he had in years past, but at the same time, Josh has to grow up. Like you mentioned, he gets paid $258 million, and he mentions it himself. You have to elevate your game always. part of elevating his game is to do like what Russell Wilson does. Checks the defense, makes his call when he gets to the line of scrimmage and changes the play. And then, that's part of having a veteran prowess. And, if he's like, oh, I have to get hit and I have to run 10 times a game for me to be good at football, then that's not good. And he needs to grow up. So nothing will change as long as McDermott's there. But Josh needs to change himself because like I said, we'll get into it. But Dorsey wasn't the issue. Dorsey was a scapegoat. Joe Brady needs to get Josh Allen back to having fun and relaxed out there. Stop overthinking his decisions. Yeah, but at the same time, what if it is more than football? What if it's just like something's up with him where it's not just the decision? Because he had fine decision making last year with Dorsey. And I really, like I said, I really don't think – I know our offense was set up where there's always someone open and there's always like this, like that play right there that Rush just hit. There's always that option for safety blanket open for him in case stuff doesn't work out. It's just his processing of a defense. So, again, coaches can only do so much at the pro level because like people fumbling, you learn in Pee Wee. And I play running back too. 5 points of contact. Watch Nick Chubb play football. And then James Cook goes out there the first play and goes like this. So it's only so much that you can blame the coach for. And again, I'll mention this on the show tonight. But for the people that are here watching, it doesn't matter if Dorsey's play calls were the absolute worst in NFL history. With these little mistakes that we are doing to ourselves, even if we didn't make half of them, we'd be 9-1 right now. And that might be, a speculation, which it is, but you gave up 10, you lost 10 points against the Bengals for a fumble and a penalty that got you out of field goal range, which would have been 28 points, and we would have won 28-24. Then this game, 4 turnovers. The Jets game, 4 turnovers. Like, you just can't win like that. And, I know coaches aren't telling you to turn the ball over. Yeah, exactly. And, he's been turning the ball over with Daboll. And, people, not you, but people I see, Josh has more turnover, he turns the ball over more with Dorsey because Dorsey does this. But Josh Allen's been leading the league in turnovers since he's been in the league. Yeah, these holes were open all day. The offensive line did absolutely incredible. Maybe Allen should be more like other QBs that, even though enjoying their off time, still make it to the point to train upcoming season. Allen was basically playing 26 different golf events. Yeah. And we touched on that early in the season. And, I didn't like it when he said, I don't do shit in the off season, but I gave him the benefit of the doubt. You know what I mean? And maybe I shouldn't have, but when you come out and say something like that after you got paid, first of all, it makes you look stupid. And then, I get it. You're a human too, but I can't take off 3 months of my job and don't do jack shit. So look, design run for Josh, it got stuffed. People are watching. People are spying. It's not easy to run when you got a QB spy. And I'm fine with not calling design runs for Josh. He's gonna turn the ball over every season, but he's also going to make unreal plays. Here's the deal: McDermott has him sitting in the pocket this season longer. Allen has never sat in the pocket like this before. We need to get Josh moving. Yeah, and like I absolutely agree with that. And it just goes back to my point where I don't think they're telling him don't make a play when nothing's open. I think he's just doing that on his own, not believing in himself. And in that video, even for this game that Kurt Warner was mentioning, there's these plays that have to be, as soon as it's open, throw it, and he hesitates, and he hesitates, and he hesitates. And this is all in his mental capacity. It's not really, this offense, it's simple and predictable in the sense of it's helpful to Josh, and he still doesn't utilize that to his ability. And there's, people mention, Josh, we run the same 2 plays out of, like plays like that. Diggs is wide open. You got to hit him. And he just can't. There's a play that he mentioned. We run 2 different plays out of it. And people said, "Oh," he goes, "Oh, people think it's predictable." But then you go watch the Philadelphia Eagles; they run the same exact play 10 times with AJ Brown, and they keep doing it and keep doing it and keep doing it. So predictable is more of just like a phrase, in my opinion, because everything's predictable. Offenses, people watch film for a reason because they know, like for example, Brown got beat here, and we'll touch on that. This pass rusher, this young pass rusher, is probably like, oh, when Spencer Brown kicks back, he likes to jab with his right arm first. So I'm gonna come back here and do this. Like they look at tendencies. So you know, not every game is going to be completely different. But the thing with our offense is option based, so it's to avoid all that. Yeah, Brown loses a point there for that pass block rep. The offense under Dorsey was too predictable to me. The difference to me was Philly knows their personnel strengths to call those same type of plays. Yeah, but that's what Kurt Warner was kind of saying. Like Diggs and Diggs is better than AJ Brown, but the Eagles aren't afraid to keep running the same play with AJ Brown. Like I'm not worried about Diggs on anybody, but you know, there was one play, and I think we'll get to it. Obviously, yeah, we will get to it. It was Dalton Kincaid. Obviously, he's a rookie. There was a play that we had to hit the check down, but if Dalton Kincaid ran the proper route and read the defense properly, that would have been it would have been a 30-yard gain instead of a 2-yard gain. And we'll get to it. I remember the exact one. So once we see it, and that's what I mean. It's just a little thing. So it's bad, or you can say the offense was the most predictable in the world. You can say the play calling was as bad as any other play call could be. But even so, we killed ourselves on easy stuff that lost us football games. So that's why, like, I get it, and I'm not gonna say people are wrong for thinking Dorsey was predictable, or then you got guy in motion here. Predictable or not great play calls. I'm not going to argue with people on that, because I can see the argument for it. But even with that, we still had every opportunity to be 8-1 or 9-1 or 8-2 right now if we didn't shoot ourselves in the foot time and time again. Because the defenses aren't doing anything to beat us. Throwing the ball looking at the corner the whole way and throwing the ball right to them. That's not the defense doing anything special. Fumbling the ball, not having ball security. That's not the defense, jumping routes and making plays. Diggs in motion. I like seeing Gilliam in the backfield a little bit, finally. Play action pass. Oh, is this it? Okay, here we go. I think this is it. Might be. I just got to see it one more time. No, that wasn't it. Okay. But you guys remember, after week 1, Josh was hitting the check downs, taking what the defense gave you. We were averaging 40 points a game. And, I don't know what happened after that Miami game, but he really just let's talk Hardy. We used McKenzie last season the right way for his strengths. We aren't doing the same for Hardy. That's what I'm talking about. I get it, but like at the same time, Hardy's just not good at football, and neither is Sherfield. Like we believed, and I even believed it too, that these guys were actual great weapons. But if you think about it, like and they got talent. I'm not saying that they're. You know what I mean, obviously. But let's just look for example. Davis is forcibly another option over them. Then you got Kincaid, Dawson Knox when he plays, and James Cook, and even Khalil Shakir. So they're not even top 5 option for this offense. So I'm not gonna be mad that we're not getting Hardy involved. I'm mad that we paid him a lot of money because I've been saying since day one we overpaid for him. His best season, he had 500 receiving yards, and he got 200 of them in the same game. So how much talent does he really have? We overpaid because he was a punt returner. Sherfield, he was the true third option in Miami. He's not the true third option here. So that's all I'll say about that. I mean, I would have loved to see them use a little bit more. This stuff like this, you got to catch that. I would love to see, and I love your point, to get Hardy the ball more, get Sherfield the ball more. It's just, I'm not going to also be mad about it either because I'd rather have Shakir in the game than either of them. I'd rather have Dalton Kincaid, and hopefully Gabe Davis could step up and actually make plays, but I'd rather have that than anything. But I get what you're saying, and I'm not going to disagree whatsoever. We're just gonna skip through the defense. He has speed, which is deadly. We haven't used Hardy the right way. I get it, but then when you look at like the deep routes that he runs, he's never gotten open. He's always clamped. So it's like we try to using him in deep balls, and it's just not working. But I agree, get him involved in the short game more. And maybe we'll see if Joe Brady does it. Maybe he will, maybe he won't, but maybe they just lack confidence in him, or maybe they're seeing something that we can't understand, or maybe Josh just doesn't have a connection with him. Because that's how Josh is. That could be something too. I still think he didn't get his right foot in. I'm gonna argue that till I die. But they said his foot was in. All right. Diggs in motion. There's a lot of Diggs in motion. Nobody else really. All right. Great job, O-line. Oh, here's the play. Okay. So this is just an example. Josh did the right thing and took the check down. But what Kurt Warner was saying, and this is part of our option-based offense, and you do option-based because it can be any man or zone concept. So you got Diggs running down low over here, high low in the guy in the zone. Kincaid is supposed to take this man 12 yards. And then if he goes all 12 yards with Kincaid, which he does, Kincaid is supposed to stomp on his left foot here, go out, and be wide open, and that's what Josh wanted. But Kincaid goes in when the guy's on him, and Diggs was already locked up by Surtain. So he wasn't going to throw to Diggs, and Kincaid ran the incorrect route because he didn't read the defense properly. So Josh wanted this. He looked over here for a reason. He was seeing what was going on, and then he just took the dump off. So it's little things like that. And, Kincaid's a rookie. I'm not going to kill the kid. He's had a fantastic year. But imagine this. He cuts in over here. Josh throws it by the 30. He can cut up field, whatever. And then instead we got a 4-yard, a 5 or 6 yard gain. So, again, Allen has a big say in the plays that are called. Dorsey came out and said that on multiple occasions and start holding Allen accountable. Yo, Mad Chad, what's up, buddy? And yeah, and I've been holding, I don't want to hear the Allen protection all the time. I've always been, and I've been very, very vocal about that it's not Dorsey's fault at all, and he shouldn't have been fired. But I understand why they did it. But I'm just saying it's definitely Josh Allen's decisions, majority of our problems. And that's what I've been trying to say. So don't think, and I haven't seen you in a while, so you haven't been hearing me say it, but I've been saying it's Josh Allen from the beginning. Right now, we're just doing the offensive line breakdowns with our grading scale. They were fantastic. But I started this last week with the O-line because I really want to show that the O-line is better than what PFF might be saying and what people may be saying as well. Look at that. Great job. And Josh wasn't doing this stuff even in week 2, 3, and 4. And Kurt Warner even highlighted that. He said, this isn't a video bashing Josh Allen because I think he's one of the greatest quarterbacks in the NFL. But he was defending the fact that he didn't like the idea of firing Dorsey when they've had so much success, when they're going through a little lull. And it's a really good video. You should watch it. It's only about the Broncos game, but it's really the story from the whole entire season. Straighten up and fly. Firing Dorsey was done as a message to Allen. Straighten up and fly right. Yep. So we're going to see Allen's mental toughness again. Is he going to shut down because he got his buddy fired? And this is why you don't work family and business also. Or is he going to be upset that he's got Dorsey fired, or is he going to play with the fire saying, I got to play better? He admitted that, it's because they didn't play good enough, which I agree. But is it just talk for him, or is he actually being for real? Not speaking directly at you, Sean. No, I get it. More to what is obviously a more intelligent football mind than what is employed by the Bills organization. Yeah, no, I get it. And, and I get both aspects of it. That people don't like the play calling, but my only point is, if you look at, and I'll even say, even if it is the worst play calling in the league, we've had potential in every single game but the Jags game, I believe, to score 30 points if it wasn't for mistakes. and we're 5-5 instead of 8-2 or 9-1, and that's regardless of play calling. That's all I'm saying. But I understand why they fired him. But that's how they usually, with winning coaches, that's how it goes. They exhaust every other option first. So special teams coordinator a couple of years ago, Chad Hall left, then Leslie Frazier, then Dorsey, and then now the only one left is McDermott. So this is the protocol you take when you have a winning organization. Like Matt Rule got fired immediately because they sucked, and they got rid of the whole coaching staff. But McDermott, it'll take a lot. But if he keeps his hands off and lets Dorsey or Joe Brady do their job, we might see a better team. Maybe not. This is all on them to play. Round of applause for the whole line all year. Absolutely. McDermott isn't going anywhere. Look at what decimated defense is still doing. Yeah, and I absolutely. But at the same time, I'm not going to just ignore everything else that's happened in these past years. Yeah, he's won division titles and stuff, but look at the catastrophic failures that he's had. I'm not going to ignore that just because his defense is decimated this year. Sure, if everybody was still healthy, we'd probably have the number one defense in the NFL. But even last game, they played great, and he's quick to come to defense of his defense instead of his whole team. And I will say, I'm not going to give the defense an excuse because they've been making plays all year and stop even with injuries. So I'm not going to sit here and forgive them for failing in the biggest moment, whether they played 40 minutes on the field or 50 or whatever. They failed in the biggest moment, so that's on them. So they should be held accountable as well, because the offense took the lead and the defense crumbled in the end. So Dawkins looked a little bit slow here, but ended up working out. Love it. Bengals game in playoffs to now shows Bills weak. That's coaching. Pagula's track record is what matters most. Yeah, I know. I agree, man. Unfortunately, we did a great job running the football. But we'll see. Brady's kind of in a shit situation. There's a touchdown at Kincaid. Josh had all day. This was a great play concept too, with Diggs and Kincaid over here working. Diggs running the go. Everybody's attention's towards him. Surtain goes to him, and then there you go, wide open. Offensive line looked good. If offense did their part the entire game, the defense wouldn't have to be put in that position. Yeah, absolutely. But here's the thing: someone's got to step up, and defense was stepping up, but at the same time, they fail in the biggest moments, and that's what I look at. I don't look at what you did earlier, and I use this analogy for baseball, and take with it what you want. You got a pitcher, your starter. He's going 8 he's gone 8 innings, no hitter, right? You're up 3-0. You're up 3-0, and then you go in the 9th inning. He walks the bases loaded. The coach comes out and says, "Hey, how you feeling, big guy?" And you're like, "Oh, I got it, coach. I got this." You believe in your player. He's giving you no reason to not believe in him. He's thrown 8 no-hit innings. Then he walked the next 3 batters, and then he gives up a grand slam. They lose the game in the bottom of the 9th, 4-3. I don't care that he threw 8 no-hit innings. He lost the game when it mattered most. So that's how I feel about the defense. If the defense was giving up 45 points a game, and we were losing because of the defense, like by giving up 45 points a game, then I understand. But the defense has stepped up and made plays regardless. This defense averages 18 points a game given up, and the Jets defense, who was looked at as the 85 Bears, gives up 19 points a game, fully healthy. So I don't want to hear excuses for them because they played so many downs or whatever. You still got to make plays when it matters most. That's all I'm saying. So they're just as accountable. But I also agree that the offensive mistakes and woes put the defense in a bad spot, and you limit the 2 games you turn the ball over 4 times. The Patriots game, you turn the ball over on the first play for a bad decision. Like, I'm not going to put on the offensive coordinator when you fumble the ball the first play of the game, and you're driving down the field and then you throw a pick in the red zone, or you drop a first down catch. Like I just can't do that. I don't care how bad the play calling or how predictable it is. It wasn't predictable enough to be shut out. It's these mistakes, personal pissing down your leg and shooting yourself in the foot, Plexico Burr style. The average starting position of the Broncos was their 44-yard line. Absolutely. It's been like that all year. But let's spin it this way, my friend. Our offensive starting position is at like the 10 every time because the defense can't make a stop quick enough, and they give us poor field position, and then that puts us in a bind. So it works both ways. Because, you give the defense credit for making stops, but what good is a stop if you pin us deep at the 5? That doesn't do shit for me because then we're going to punt it at the 50, and then you're in a bad field position anyway. So then you're back and forth running bad plays. All right, so here's Hardy in. Let's see how the play went. If you wanted to throw that, you should have been through it before that because you're just looking at him the whole time, and the corner just sees it. Look at the O-line. Oh, that's what we're here for. O-line looks good. But, yeah, I mean, this isn't Ken Dorsey doesn't say, hey, Josh, stare at the receiver you want to throw to the entire time so the DB just watches you do it, and then let's see. Could have threw it here. Eventually, Davis got open, and that was his play. You can't do that. So stop at midfield isn't acceptable. I'm just saying you're saying, oh, the average starting position for the other team's offense was the 44. Well, our average starting position is at the 15. So is the defense to blame for us having bad starting position, just like it's the offense's fault the defense has bad starting position? You got to look at it both ways because scoring on a 95-yard drive is a lot harder than scoring at a 40-yard drive. So you can say the same thing. The defense doesn't put us in good positions either. That's how the Bengals game was. Our average start was at the 17 because the Bills would fail a stop on third down to pin them back inside their own territory at the 20 or whatever. They waste the clock. It stops at the 50, and then they punt it inside the 10. Like, that doesn't help us any. Yeah, you're taking points off the board, but you're still putting us in a disadvantage. Stops are great in general. I'm just trying to pin the same argument on you that way, because the offense is putting the defense in bad field position, but the defense ain't helping either. That's all. It's that Sean McDermott defense that we blame Leslie Frazier for. Now we know the truth, and that's my whole point about, like, I'm not happy that anyone lost their job, but all that apples and oranges argument. Well, that's my point. I'm just saying you brought it up as in, like, the offense is putting the defense in a bad spot. It's the same thing. That's why I brought it up, because it is apples and oranges. I'm not gonna blame one and not the other. Yeah, it's just how it goes. But I agree with you. It's not great field position, and we're not putting the defense in a good spot. But yeah, when Frazier was gone, we all expected the defense was fantastic when we had everybody there. I'm not going to lie, but it was still similar tendencies, and we're still failing in big moments. So I'm not going to even say it was Frazier anymore. And I've been said that since 13-second game. The defense did everything asked of them. Not their fault. Allen turns the ball over 2 times. No, and I'm not saying that is. I'm saying they were on the field with a chance to win the game, and they failed. The Patriots game, they were on the field with a chance to win the game, and they failed. So they played fantastic, and I gave them the credit in my post game or my live show. They did a great job, but I don't care, because when the offense finally took the lead, you had a chance to win the game and make a stop, and then they didn't. So that's all. They did it. They did everything they could. They played for 40 minutes. They worked their ass off. They got a bunch of key sacks. But then when it came down to the end of the game, they crumbled. Diggs on a linebacker, you like that, and he dropped it. So not much to say there. There's more issues with this team than just, play calling, and it's going to show, and it has shown. Torrance lost one. But one consistent unit in all year has been the O-line. You don't think the overall team is softened? Oh, no, I absolutely do. I absolutely do. Built-in excuse to not hold down accountable for throwing 3 interceptions instead of putting points on the board. No, I mean, again, I've been saying nothing but that. You can't win football games with 4 turnovers. And the coaches don't, and that's my point. The coaches don't tell Josh to throw picks. He makes stupid-ass decisions like this one, overthrowing a wide-open receiver on 4th down at midfield. And that was on Josh. I don't care that there's pressure. You make that throw earlier. And that's what you have to understand. He hesitates. He even could have ran that for a 1st down. And he chose not to. So it's on him. Decision-making. That they not only may need to fire McDermott because they're soft. Yeah. Well, defense isn't soft, but they just fail in the big moments. Offense is soft, though. The line was good. Yeah, come on. You'll see, and that was the difference. Like, when Dan Orlovsky broke this play down, he said, why are you in and I love Dan Orlovsky, too. He's very intelligent. Why are you in shotgun putting you at basically 4th and 7 on a 4th and 2? And Kurt Warner's looking at it as this play design, and I have to rewatch that play. He said this play design was to be, thrown quickly instead of leaving the pocket earlier than you had to and then overthrowing the guy. And, there's 2 rules of thought to that. 2 intelligent quarterbacks, one a Hall of Famer, one, great analyst, and, not the best player, but he's still very intelligent. The offense did a bad job, puts the defense in a bad spot. But with your analogy, the defense lost the game. That game was lost before time. That's not what I said. Like I said, I haven't seen you in a bit, so you're not, you haven't heard me of what I've been saying for the past weeks, and now you're trying to spin what I'm saying. I'm saying that I'm not going to absolve failure because another unit failed. I could care less that the defense stepped up when the offense was failing. When you had a chance to win the game, you lost, and that's it. That's the end of it. The offense didn't help you by turning the ball over 4 times, but you were stopping them earlier. You stopped them every time earlier with no excuse. So why am I going to give you an excuse now? I'm not absolving them, and they're not the reason we lost, but they lost the game too, just like the offense did. I'm 100% blaming Josh Allen for the loss. I'm not, and the drops and the picks and the fumbles. I'm blaming that on the loss on that. But there's still a little bit that has to go to the defense for on the last drive of the game. All you had to do was stop them, and you didn't. And that's the second time it happened. The Patriots game, you let Mac Jones drive less than 2 minutes, 75 yards to score a touchdown and win the game. That wasn't the offense's fault. That was the defense's fault. That was McDermott's fault. That was everyone on defense's fault. I could care less. So it's part of it. Having 12 men on the field wasn't the offense's fault. So that game should have been won. Ken Dorsey didn't say, hey, Teron Johnson commit a stupid penalty on third and 10. Teron Johnson did that. So I'm just holding everybody accountable, something the coaching staff doesn't do. Exactly. So you're saying the defense lost the Jets game too. I never said that. Again, I never said that whatsoever. I've been saying since that game, Josh lost the game by throwing 3 picks. The special teams did give up a touchdown to lose the game, but Josh did throw 3 picks in that game, veering off the game plan. Just because Josh is more at fault doesn't mean that they're absolved of all, So let me use this analogy. Someone robs a bank, right? Say you're robbing a bank and you're doing the robbing, and then you have a getaway driver. Guess what? Your getaway driver gets arrested too and gets jailed So it doesn't matter that you did the whole thing. So I'm not saying the offense wasn't the reason we lost, because that's anyone will tell you that. I'm just saying I'm not going to absolve the defense for failing on the last drive of the game. That's just silly. I'm not doing that. That's all. That's all I'm saying. That's all. In no way, shape, or form am I blaming the defense for this loss. I'm just saying I'm blaming the defense for failing in the last drive of the game, because the offense scored in their last drive of the game to take the lead, and the defense give up the points to lose the game. So that's all I'm saying. Did Josh throw a pick on the last drive of the game and put the defense in a bad position? No. They put the defense in a position where all you got to do is win the game. You'd been great all night. Make one more stop. That's all I'm saying. There's another dumb design run for Josh. I hate these because they suck. If the Bills were up by 4 points, do they lose against the Broncos? I don't know. They were only up by 1. So I don't know. I agree with you that the offense lost the game. I don't know what you're arguing, though. I really don't understand. I've said multiple times that the offense lost the game, but I'm not going to absolve the defense for failing. If you want to absolve the defense for failing, that's fine. I'm not gonna argue with you about it, but I'm not absolving people for failing. That's all. And like I mentioned, if the defense was giving up 40 points a game, then I'd be like, yeah, that's what the defense is. But they've stepped up and made play after play after play for weeks and weeks and weeks, except for getting turnovers. They don't do that. But that's all. I'm with you, brother. You don't have to try to twist words. This O-line looked great. The D messes up a lot too. It's a team sport. Second Von, the leader's getting the offense face. Yeah, I mean it's a team effort. It's a team catastrophic failure. Defense has stepped up more than the offense, but like I said, the Patriots game and the Broncos game, you were in a position to win the football game, and the defense has been the strength of our team, and they didn't come through. They came through the whole entire game until the end, and that's all I'm saying is I'm not going to just blame the offense that the defense failed at the end. That's all. That's all. Special teams was horrible too. Our special teams has been a horrible unit this entire season. And last season too, where they were pretty bad. Defense gave us multiple chances, and we failed. And we failed, and we failed, and we failed. 100%. Come on. Now it's freaking freezing. Oh, boy. Come on. We're almost finished. I got to get to work. All right, Shakir in motion. Cook gets the ball. It's a good couple yards there. Yeah, I'm not upset at you or anything, my friend. I'm just saying, like, I'm absolutely not blaming the defense 100% for the loss. I'm just going to blame them for the part that they had. Offense deserved 70% of the loss. Special teams 20, and then defense 10. It's because they failed in the biggest moment. That's all. Play action. Great blocking. Josh rolls out. Gets the ball to Gabe for a big gain. There's a lot of great plays. Just the drops into picks, the drop first downs, the fumbles. Just Things that shoot yourself. The difference between being 8-2, 9-1, and 5-5, and 3-7. Like the Chiefs. The Chiefs have a worse offense than we do right now, and they're 7-2. They're not making those catastrophic mistakes to lose games. We are. Like this. A fucking quarterback handoff. A quarterback fucking handoff that you learn in Pop Warner Pee Wee football. Josh just drops it. You have to place it and then let the running back take it. That's 101 football. You're driving down the field and you fumble. Horrible. Because this could have been in points for us. Diggs almost had that. It would have been nice. And just like this play is the epitome of the Bills season. Nothing has gone our way. Just like this. Didn't go our way. Defense was horrible. Only allowed one touchdown with an average starting. When did I say the defense was horrible? I never said the defense was horrible. I don't know. I don't know where you got that from. Like I said, I don't know. I don't know what's up with you today. You're all upset at me, but I don't know if you're listening to the words I'm saying or not. I said the defense stepped up the entire day except for the last drive and we lost. That's all I said. They did good all day. Look, they got us a good field position at the 10-yard line. So the stop was great, but with an offense that's been struggling, it's not good to be at the 10. But the defense did play great all day except for the last drive of the game when we lost and they gave up the field goal. That's all I said. So I'm going to blame them for the part they did bad, which was the last drive. I'm going to blame the offense for turning the ball over 4 times and dropping passes and fumbling the football and penalties and whatever. They deserve majority of the blame. Not the offensive line, though. They don't. Because as we've seen, they've all been stellar. But I'm glad you guys are tuning in as always. Everybody feels a certain way. It's always it's a division. It's a split about what's what, and that's fine. I'm just a guy that gives accountability. My job in my life, in the military was all about accountability. So I give everybody accountability. Just because the offense failed more, I'm not going to say, oh yeah, the defense was perfect because they were perfect. They only gave up 24 points to a shitty offense, and they get all 100% grades. I'm just not going to do that. The offense failed way more, but the defense had a blip in the last drive. That's all I'm going to say. And the offense needs to, if they want to make the playoffs, they better step up because can't win with offense like this. Play action, steps up in the pocket. Sometimes it's hard not to watch the receivers when you're doing this, even though we're just doing O-line. Everybody looks good. They'll probably have similar grades than last week. Good job, Cook. Wow. He finally stepped up on a pass block. We're not going to see who's open or whatever on this play. We're just going to watch the O-line. Watch Cook pick up this blitz. Finally. Everybody did good. Oh gosh, the decisions. Don't know what Murray was doing here. Give McGovern a minus point there. He had a pretty solid day, though. Come on. Be late for my client. But I can't just stop. I got to get this done. Stop freezing. Jeez. We're almost done. Come on. Well, while we're waiting for it to unfreeze, Dawkins' overall PFF grade was 87. Pass blocking was 81.6. McGovern's was 52.7 overall with an 81.4 pass block for Dawkins, 81.6 for McGovern. Morris's overall was 64. His pass blocking was 61. Torrance's was 59 pass blocking, 68 overall. Brown's was 67.7 overall with 76.6 pass blocking. So everybody lost points for PFF minus Dawkins for the overall. And we'll do overall and pass blocking. Why not? Nah, we'll just do overall. Come on, I'm going to be late. We got a couple drives left. Come on. Sorry, I got to go back. Sorry for the delay. I wish I could just have an offense only. We were actually lucky we even had a chance. They missed 2 extra points, too. All right, this should be the last drive. Even Davis looked good blocking. You see, and this was a drive where it's like I knew when we scored too quick that the defense wasn't gonna stop them, and I was like, well, Slow it down a bit, please, maybe. But we got the touchdown. Seven straight runs, the score. Now their defense decides to let us get big chunk plays when they could have just stopped us a couple times where we could at least drain more clock. Nice run. The line all did good. They all had a pretty good day. I think they're all gonna have another week in the 90s. And it's 85 is gonna be still the benchmark that they want to hit for being great. Again, I still consider what PFF gives for their pressures and hurries and everything. I just don't grade them as hard on it. So let's go over those, and then I got to get going. Dawkins lost 5 points, so he's at a 95. You know what? I'm just going to take 5 points off the top because nobody's perfect. So Dawkins finishes with a 90. McGovern lost 3 points, -5, so that's a 92. Morris lost 4 points, -5, 91. Torrance lost 6 points, -5, that's 89. Brown lost 7 points, -5, that's 12, so 88. So they all reached the benchmark of 85. Obviously I took off 5 points just extra just to say, but they all did a solid job again. Fantastic job. The O-line isn't an issue with this offense. I love how they've been playing. The Buffalo Bills can turn it around. We'll see. I'll be on Mafia Sports Report tonight, and also check over Nickel City Mafia. They got their donations for the Punt Foundation for Cordell and his mother. Cordell is suffering from childhood cancer, and they just started collecting donations to give that family, and there'll be more to come. And then there's a big show on Nickel City Mafia in December that will be like a big fun show where you can donate more. And if you can't donate monetarily, absolutely fine. Just spread the word. And Nickel City Mafia will have it on. I think they have it on their channel, obviously, in the description. So thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you later tonight. Go Bills. Hopefully they can turn it around. The offense needs to be better. Plain and simple.